Hello, my Capricorns. Welcome to your freedom reading. In this reading, we're going to focus on asking the Creator, what can I look at to give myself more freedom? What are those things that I can be aware of that are blocking bringing more freedom into my life? So, what's keeping me in that storm, that chaos of that hurricane, where we can move to the center of that and find, more freedom, more peace, more unconditional love, joy, and laughter. What's keeping us in that storm, or, what's keeping us in that cycle, like on the merry-go-round, where we feel like we're going around and around and around, repeating the same things over and over, and we feel like we're out of control. And how can we get freedom, from that type of thing too? So we're going to ask the Creator just for that additional information to help us and aid us on our journey. Before we jump into the reading, as always, I just love just welcoming the Creator, just recognizing your presence here with us. We're so grateful that you are interested in being involved in every second of our life. And in those seconds, you're not judging us or, writing down everything that we're doing wrong, but you are loving us unconditionally, no conditions. Nothing we can do to lose it, nothing we can do to gain more of it. We already have it all. And we're just so grateful for you and for your presence. We thank you and we welcome you. We also welcome all of our group of support on the other side, all those beings of unconditional love and light that follow us every moment of our lives, both here and on the other side. And we welcome you and thank you for helping bring through messages as well. All right, what we're going to do is start off with these archetype cards from Carolyn Miss, and that's where we will start. Asking the Creator what he would like our lovely Capricorns to know about their freedom. All right, Creator, what do you want Capricorns to know about their freedom, please? Okay, that is the one. So you got teacher, and you got light attributes and shadow attributes. I'll show you the picture here first. And the shadow attributes are what are keeping us, that like that block and that flow of freedom. And so the shadow attribute is what's keeping us kind of shadowed, of course, from that additional freedom. And when we, look at and going through this process, we move that out of the way. We really never really get rid of our experiences in our life. We just move it out of the flow where it's not so important and it's not blocking things. But we come here to experience, so whatever we experience, we still store. It's like an old home movie collection. We want to take all those back with us when we go back to the other side, so that we look at those experiences from a different point of view and understand all that. So we'll look at the shadow attribute first, which says, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So what is causing this block in the middle of our freedom road are, and I really feel it is actually teachers. It's a general reading, but so it could be those that taught you things growing up as well. But I really feel the focus is on, you've had some teachers in your life, or a specific teacher that just didn't have the skills at the time to really teach younger individuals. They, pointed out everything you did wrong, didn't support you, maybe even called you stupid, or their actions, or facial expressions or body language, you took as, oh, they don't think I'm anything, or they always graded you harshly, or you felt you were not graded fairly, and you just have that block in there. Also, I'm feeling that there was like, it would be like a math class, right? Let's say you have more of an artistic and, wonderful, beautiful imagination, creativity. You have the artist personality, and, it's that kind of scenario where that is your passion. That's what your heart desires. And math was boring to you. You had no interest in it, so you didn't do well in it because you didn't want to. But that became this block of you suck at math and you failed, and all the judgment that comes from others around your grade that you were given. And there was a reading, I forget which reading it came out in, but I had this image of, you're a fish, and you're around this flock of birds, and all the flock of birds are being graded on how well they fly, and you're a fish, and they're like, you're not a flying fish, you're actually just a submersible underwater fish, and they're like, well, you can't fly, and you can't do this, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and that's what was focused on, but if the wheels were turned and all the birds were sitting on top of the water and you're diving down into the deep depths of the sea, and they're like, come on, birds. And they're like, well, we can't swim. And you're like, well, you fail. It's like if the shoes were on the other foot, they'd be like, oh, wow. And they would have seen that. But the birds were all concerned about failing themselves. So that's all they were focused on. Had nothing to do personally with you. They were just fearing being rejected themselves. So that's a lot of the shadow attributes and the stories that were coming in with that. Once we remove that and move it out of the way, then the light attributes come to the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So, part of this freedom of not feeling you can be yourself with that shadow attribute keeps you restricted, confined, small, feeling small, acting small. But as you realize and go through that process of realizing, external human actions that were pointed towards you weren't actually personal for you. You were just a mirror. You were reflecting back. Anything that came out of their mouths is how they felt about themselves. And that's the amazing thing in life. When we realize what comes out of our mouth is an insecurity about ourselves, we can reflect on our judgments on others, because they're actually judgments on ourselves. Likewise, anything that comes out of people's mouth towards you, you can look at it and go, okay, it's not personal, but what are they telling me about how they feel about themselves, right? So I love that. We're going to pull some more cards here. And this is going to be the Oracle of the Seven Energies. This is by Colette Baron Reed. All right, Creator, what else do you want our Capricorns to know? Okay. About their freedom. Yep. Ears wide open. And I love that. And that's master number 33, which is beautiful. So what's jumping out to me here is almost like this is a little fox named Dumbo. Dumbo was always made fun of about his ears, but in the end, the ears were a gift. And this is what I feel is the message coming for you too, is that, this fox has big ears, but he can hear, she can hear. And, whatever you felt was your, the things that were shrinking you, when you put those aside and you start celebrating, your abilities as that fish, your abilities to dive deep into the unconscious and subconscious, into researching things. You have talents that you suppress because you focus on what you fear what everyone will say, right? Because you're not doing all these other things that you're supposed to, and you're like, but that's not me. I'm an original. I'm different. I'm not a bird. I'm a fish. And actually, everyone is different. There's just people that we're taught, and especially in the United States society, is this is how you have to be. You got to fit into this square, and everyone tries to fit in there, and it's exhausting. Eventually, it's like you get tired of it, and you just say, never mind, screw it, I'm going to be myself. So we'll look at that, and then I'll read from the little book too here, but I just feel this is giving you the ability, all these stars and all these orbs with these ears, you have the ability, to hear clearly from the other side. So you might have a lot of water in your chart too. I know Capricorns, you're, an earth sign, so you're very grounded, but you also have the ability to reach out and to listen and hear. Everyone really does. We all have the ability to communicate to the other side because we are, spirit beings having a physical life. All we have to do is focus on and raise our vibration to that same frequency, which is of unconditional love, peace, joy, and laughter. When we raise our vibration to that instead of the fear, we can hear clearly. But you have this gift of being able to hear in balance between the heavens and the earth, and hear, both the wisdom that you've gleaned from being the human. That's what the 33 does, is you've been able to do very well at your human ego, understand your spiritual side, and the 33 is the balance between those two worlds, and that's what you're able to do. Okay, so the energy of this card is about deep listening as a gift we give to others, understanding someone else's needs, showing focused attention, tuning in to another, and letting go of the ego's need to be heard. Oh, I love that. So, that definitely works in with understanding that whatever was done to you wasn't against you or personal, that, with this ability now you're able to kind of step back and go look back at those situations and go, you know what? When I go back knowing it wasn't about me and what were they telling me about themselves, then I see a whole new world. If we can get past that, not getting defensive and taking it personally, we can see a whole lot about what the other person is telling us about their self-worth. It goes on to say, so the world is constantly speaking to us and offering clues about what is really going on beneath the surface of things. We all have the capacity to hear beyond the noise that reaches our ears. The challenge is when we feel misunderstood and unheard. When we feel insignificant, it's easy to over-explain ourselves in an attempt to get acknowledged. Now is the time to let all that go. Offer your attention as the great gift it is. It's time to stop multitasking, checking your phone, thinking of what you're going to say next, and doing all the other things that keep you from connecting fully. Whenever we are in a state of chaos and distraction, paying attention to only some of what is being said, we lose the ability to pick up on everything, including that which is not being said. Deep listening is the way in which we immerse ourselves in the truth of the world. In this way, with ears wide open, we also open our hearts and minds to understand more than what is conveyed through words alone. Opportunities arise from the subtle cues we miss when we are not 100% present. Purposeful, open listening is an act of true respect and intimacy. When you are in the space of receptivity, letting go of the need to be heard or to be right, you become expansive and alert to meaningful potential. Right now, keep your ears wide open, and you will find more than you were searching for. Beautiful. Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. When we look past all the noise, then we understand what's really going on. That's a great message there. We're also going to pull some cards here from the Path of the Soul Destiny cards from Cheryl Lee Harnish. And I love these fractal images on here. I've been calling them like the spiritual ink blot because I'll show you in a sec here. So, Creator, what else do you want Capricorns to know about their freedom, please? Okay, that one is the one that is asking for our attention. And this is the number 7. See this fractal art. She puts in formulas and it creates images. Who doesn't know what it's going to be? And so I always say, look at it. What do you see in here? It'll tell you about yourself. But we'll see what the card energy came to her as. And this is the Bull guide. This has been coming up in a few of the readings, which makes total sense because the Bull guide appears to offer you strength as you move through your life. He imparts the teachings and wisdom of standing strong and firm when you need to and not allowing others to cross your personal boundaries. Look at all the situations happening around you at this time. Bull Guide is here to help you be firm wherever and whenever you need to be. He wants to remind you that you are strong and you are deeply supported as you find your way to your own self-empowerment. And I love how Shirley Harnish, she describes this card in some of her readings about, a bull doesn't have to constantly, go on the borders of its, space and to guard and protect it and let everyone know, hey, don't come in here. The bull just has to stand in the middle of its territory and be like, I'm a bull. And everyone respects a bull because the bull is strong and big and has horns. And people know that if I go into cross your boundaries and agitate you, you will charge. And they are respected. And that's kind of the whole presence of it, is you don't have to, tell everyone, I am strong, get out of my way, and you better not cross that boundary. You just stand strong within with that inner strength, and you're able to stand up and be yourself. And I love that, it works so well with all those attitudes and all those things of what you were being told and taught about yourself, and you're like reaching this point in your life. And I really feel it for the majority of you've been doing such great inner work that you're at this place of, yes, I am going to be myself, and I can, have these boundaries, and I'm expanding my self-empowerment. So I love this. I love this message for you. We're also going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers deck, and we'll get some additional information and clarification or validation. The teachers, they do make such a impact on children, a lot of times they act as surrogate parents, right? Because a lot of times parents are busy trying to live and make ends meet and trying to multitask and do a ton of things. And so the attention a lot of children get is by their teachers in schools. And it's amazing that teachers get paid so little and invest so much of their own personal money into things. So, a great big thank you to all the teachers out there. They were a huge impact in my life, and I know for most of us. And so all those teachers that were giving of themselves and sacrificing higher paying jobs and giving all their time and their own money, buying supplies and all that, a great big thank you and appreciation for you. All right. Creator, what else would you like Capricorns to know about their freedom, please? It's this one and this one. This one. Okay, and that one. Wow. All right. We will follow those. I'm just going to grab a quick sip of coffee here. It's that time of year where beautiful, beautiful flowers are blooming, and my sinuses battle that. She got the 9 of Swords. And so the swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, like your mindsets and those types of things. And with the Nine of Swords, this is like having nightmares, having trouble sleeping. You have so much on your mind, all these thoughts of the should be's and supposed to be's. This is who I am. This is what I've been told who I am. But that time is, the Nine of Swords. You're almost to the end. You're almost to this Ten of Swords, where the Ten of Swords is like you're exhausted. You are, have had enough and you're ready for something new. So you're almost to that point where you've been holding on for a while on some specific self-beliefs about yourself. And the good news is that you're almost ready. You're almost exhausted enough to let go. And my friends always would be like, what are you talking about? Whenever they're like, I'm at my wit's end. I'm like, great. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, it's because you've been, we're all stubborn humans, but sometimes in certain situations we're extra stubborn. And there's this story in one of my books. It's called The Speedboat Called Surrender. And it's about us holding on to those beliefs, and we're being pulled behind this boat. And the longer we hold on to that rope, not letting go, the speedboat gets faster and faster and faster. And sooner or later, we're all bouncing all over, behind the boat because it's going so fast. We can't even stay on our skis or on our feet. And we're just going, and we let go one arm, and we're just holding on with one arm. We're like, oh my God. And this is like when you're, at your Nine of Swords, you're like, I'm holding on with one arm. And then finally, you just get so exhausted when you hit that Ten of Swords that you're just like, I'm just going to let it go. And then suddenly you're just floating in this beautiful, lake of water, in peace. You're not being ripped all over the place, and you're like, wow, and you're ready for a new adventure then. And so that's where you're at with this, is you're just this close to being exhausted enough to let go of that belief, where that exhaustion outweighs the fear of letting go of that belief about yourself. So it's great news. And you got the Two of Pentacles here. And the Pentacles is really about your outside world, how you are relating, to the physical plane, your humanness, your human body, your interactions with other, the they in life. But what I love about the Two of Pentacles is it's a reminder to balance. There is this, you can see like this infinity symbol, which is all about the cycles of life, the ebb and flow that we go through. This represents our physicalness side of us, but this represents our spiritual side. This is the real us, the powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And we come here to experience what it might be to be our opposite, to be small and restricted, and feel what heartache would feel like, what abandonment would feel like, what betrayal would feel like, what anger would feel like, just all those fear-based emotions that are uncomfortable because we're not used to those. We don't experience those in our spiritual realm because we don't have a veil remembering, who we really are. But when we come down, there's like this little veil that of forgetfulness where we don't remember the other side, so we can have this pure experience as we go along the path down here. But this is all about, especially with this number 33, for me, with the master number 11 is when we master understanding our ego and how this world works, and we're, able to accomplish a lot there. And then 22 is when we realize that there's a higher self. It's not just one, there's two. And then you start understanding more about your spiritual higher self. And then when you move into this 33, it's about, I don't have to destroy my 11. I actually take what I learned there, 11 plus 22 equals 33. So I take what I've gleaned from both of that knowledge, and I'm able to balance and move in and out, and I don't fear the ebb and flow of going, the ebb of going out into the world and experiencing all that storm that's going on around me, I can still be in the eye of the storm when the storm comes. I don't have to fear the storm anymore because I remember my higher self as well. And then I move into, a more spiritual moments in my life. And then I ebb and flow back into, the storm comes, and it becomes this beautiful experience and embracing our shadow, where before, especially when you're going through your 22 master spirit, you almost get this thing of, oh, this is the better choice and I need to destroy my ego. And that's one of our spiritual ego beliefs, is that our human experience is bad and evil, and the spiritual is the better choice. And it's like, we learn to balance that and understand the importance of that experience that we have here. And then you have the Empress here, which is all about creativity. This is really cool. Again, 33, so you've got a 3, and that is about birthing a new you. Understanding, the Empress is full of emotion. She's like Mother Nature, seeing how beautiful everything is, being able to walk in nature and connect to the true peaceful place that you are. And the expression, I really love, because this represents creativity, so it allows you to be creative in your own way. And I just realized in this cartoon, when I was talking about math, there's all these physics and mathematical equations on the back here. And here's the world that you're opening up for yourself. That's the world there, right? So this is the world, your new world that you're birthing, because we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. We see through our own glasses. So, when we're in our shadow, the world looks chaotic and evil and unstable and all that. And that's all reflective, like I talked about, of what's going on inside of me. What I see is me. What other people see is them. But when you free yourself from those and you connect, to this higher place and you see from a new viewpoint, your whole world changes in front of you, and it becomes a whole new place of more freedom to be you, which is why we're having this reading. And this talked about your strength here. And this is beautiful because I love how the lion represents like our human side, our, this human, animalistic, type of reactionary being that reacts out of fight or flight and fear, and looks to the outside. And this other side, and here's the heart here of love, and the lamb. This all represents our higher self, our real spiritual self, this, being up on the top. And so the strength comes here. She's not, doesn't have a, like a chair and a whip and, get down, to your, trying to beat down the lion to make it obey. It embraces it with love and calms it and shows it that it's lovable and all that. And then where this one, had the infinity symbol, you see it again here as well on her arm, which is just confirmation that this is what that was talking about as well. It's that cycle of allowing the lion to be the lion, but also what the lion is searching for is to be loved, and the higher self is what can give the love that the lion is really looking for. Then you got the 7 of Wands. And this is a beautiful card too, because this is, you can see like she's sitting in this beautiful energy bubble here. And that bubble represents, you can kind of see this is like a big energy bubble. This is the love energy bubble, the unconditional love energy bubble. She's at peace. She's sitting in there. The outside world will try to poke and, try to pop the bubble, but because it's coming from within, you can see, that the energy is coming out from within you. It's not coming from an outside source where they can take that away. I love the saying, I'm going to be happy for no reason at all, because then no one can take it away from me. And that's like, I'm going to love myself unconditionally without any condition. And then there's no conditions that can break it. There's nothing from the outside world that can come in and destroy that for me. So, I love that she's being herself, talked about boundaries as well. And I feel like this is that boundary that you put around you, and you're like, no, I'm not going to let that into my life. I'm not going to let other people's opinions change my viewpoint of myself, my self-worth, my belief in what is possible, and the world that I'm creating is all up to me, and I'm not going to let anyone else influence that. Yeah, we listen to other people, and if it's like, hey, I really like that idea, yeah. But if it's a negative, judgmental, type of energy that's coming towards you, just stay in that bubble and let it go boom, knowing that whatever they're communicating is about them, not about you. All right. Then we're going to end with this chakra love cards here. Let's see what the final thing is that the Creator would like all of our Capricorns to know about their freedom. What would you like our Capricorns to know about their freedom, please? Okay. And last pass. Any others, please? Okay. So I love this truth. Speak from your heart. It is the only thing worth listening to. And so this, is so perfect with this Seven of Wands here. You find your truth and you don't listen. Ears wide open, you listen to your heart, you listen to your truth, knowing that that is for you. And you don't have to, get in arguments with other people to say, my truth is more true than yours. Your truth is true for you. Their truth is true for them. And then you got manifestation. It says manifestation is the fruition of confidence and belief. And so I really feel, with this birth of this new world, of this new awareness of your inner strength and who you are, that is where this manifestation comes from. You're able to remove that block, and with that new freedom, you just open that energy, and there's this flow of more unconditional love and freedom and peace and joy and laughter. And that energy, you get to focus in on these new creations instead of maintaining old beliefs, these old beliefs. And I forgot to mention, you have this new belief coming in, this light that comes in, and it just changes everything. And lastly, safety. In the hurricane of life, a strong foundation will keep you safe. And, we talked about in the beginning about that chaos going around. When you come to the middle of that chaos, that's where you feel safe. We don't feel safe when the external things, if you didn't have this bubble of unconditional love, knowing that the Creator of all things loves you unconditionally, and that is what you make your foundation of your self-worth, you feel safe when that's there. If that's not there, you feel like all these people are going to beat you with their wands, with their own demands, with their own, opinions and should be's and supposed to's and have to's and needs to and blah, 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 blah. But when you come to that place where you just are in that bubble of your own truth, not needing to change anyone else, but that you are on your own journey and your own path, that is where your freedom comes. You release everyone else from your have to's and shoulds and supposed to's, and you release yourself from everyone else's have to's, supposed to's, and shoulds. And that's where your freedom comes. So I love this for you. Just know as you go through this, through understanding this and just kind of viewing this from a higher perspective, that every second you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. We'll talk to you soon. You take care.